Juilliard School of Music. The most famous name, just like Carnegie Hall. It used to be the place where people who wanted to pursue their dreams in music and the performing arts would go to. Well, it seems that the university has been making good use of their status to continually increase and charge very expensive tuition fees to the point that there's now student protests. Students can no longer afford to pay these fees. Begs the question, is Juilliard still worth it, and what does the music education landscape look like today? We're going to explore that in today's video. We've actually been contacted by several musicians to talk about this.
The New York Times has really reported about it. Rolling Stone also has started reporting about it.
The protest was led by a student organized group called the Socialist Penguins. On the 7th of June, there was a sit-in demanding a tuition freeze. What happened was during the protest, security tried to lock them in on the second floor of the building, which to me sounds extremely hazardous, maybe? Like, what about the fire escape?
Yeah, there's actual footage of this going on.
He's trying to lock us in.
The reason we didn't get locked in was because the student successfully stopped the door from shutting by running as fast as he could.
Why did you just try and lock us in? Yeah, mate, we got instructions to do that.
We had the instructions to do that. Oh, that's messed up.
That's freaky, man. Who gave those instructions though? Let's lock the students in. They're complaining about the tuition fees because we increased it, but let's lock them in. Hello?
We didn't lock you in. We were testing to see if this door will lock.
Oh! It's like my dog ate my homework.
You just know that guy had to come up with some
Yeah.
excuse on the spot. He's like got caught red-handed for doing something that's very questionable. I even wonder if that's like illegal.
It doesn't sit well with me. I just don't like the idea of being locked in.
Juilliard became a Juilliard.
Oh! Okay, look, to be fair though, I don't know what the students were doing, right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe they were doing something terrible, breaking shit. But it still doesn't justify you guys locked them in. What happened to just having a conversation, talking about these things?
Following that incident, the school identified every single student that attended the protest and sent us this email.
We have received a report of serious code of conduct violations pertaining to community safety. Okay, because locking people in is not a breach of safety.
Yeah, fire goes down. Whoop-de-doo, you know. That's not good.
You have been identified as having been involved. The emails to notify you that Diamond Building access has been temporarily suspended pending a full investigation. Any violation of school policies during this period may lead to immediate conduct action, including but not limited to disciplinary, probation, suspension. So they're basically saying we're going to suspend you if you walk into our building now.
Is that a threat?
It is a threat.
Many of our students are now going to have to miss rehearsals simply because we expressed our free right to protest.
Okay, that's messed up because you get graded on attendance to rehearsals. So now your academic results are going to be completely screwed over because you can't enter a rehearsal building.
This is so out of control.
The thing that gets to me is, this is a time where most classes have been moved online. They're increasing tuition fees at a time where you're not even going into uni, you're just at home on a Zoom thing. And now these students got that very last bit of rehearsals in person taken away from them. What are they even getting out of this degree at?
Dude,
this
the whole point of being a musician is actually playing with each other.
Yeah.
Meeting people that share the same goals and careers and dreams with you.
Yeah.
Creating these bonds. It's not there.
Yeah.
So what's the point of charging more when they can't even achieve this? You're not helping a musician become a musician.
This is my personal opinion. The largest value you can get going to a music institution is lessons in person.
100%.
And then there's ensembles playing and the fact that you meet and network with like-minded people. To me, those are the top three
Yes.
aspects. Any of the academic things, even theory, you
Yeah.
want to learn about oral training YouTube videos.
Go on Wikipedia, go on YouTube, you can learn so much.
Now they're basically having to pay $51,000 a year to learn things that they could just Google, essentially. The last tiny bit that might be worth it for them, going into the Diamond Building and stuff, it's gone.
To be honest, as a musician, that's all we want. Performance opportunities, having lessons, playing rehearsals, and meeting people. And that's all taken away.
messed up.
I know, it's so messed up.
If that tuition increase really is justified, perhaps the best way to communicate that is not by locking the students in and then threatening them and ending the email with respectfully. I thought that was so ironic. We just screwed you over, respectfully.
Yeah. Tuition fees went from 2017, it it was $43,170 USD per year. So like 3 years is what? Too much money. 2021 was $49,260. Now 2021 to 2022 is what made this whole thing happen. They increased it again to $51,230 US.
And that's just for the tuition fee. For the students that live on campus and board, residency fees has also increased a lot. These numbers are from the Juilliard website itself, right? 49,000 for tuition fee, single room boarding fee is 18,000. In 2021, it shot up to
24,000 for a single room.
what's that, 25% increase?
Yeah.
That's
and
insane.
during COVID too. What student has money to pay the rent during COVID?
This is times when most families and like everyday citizens are struggling the most. There's unemployment everywhere. Musicians are getting gigs cancelled everywhere.
Yeah.
And now they have to cough up an extra $10,000 per year. It's one thing to say new students in the future have to pay more. But I've always thought it's weird that, say I go into uni, they're like, oh, you'll be paying $5,000 a year. And then after the first year, they go, actually, you're going to be paying $10,000 a year.
Yeah,
but you can't back out now because then you don't get your degree and all of it's
No,
wasted.
that's a bit like a trap.
Yeah.
So imagine you're at a restaurant.
The menu says it's $20.
Menu says $20 and you say, hey, I want this burger. They go, yeah, sure. While they're making it, they go, by the way, for us to serve it, now it's like $25. Others, we can't serve you the burger. It's
Yeah.
like, how can you justify the increase of the price after I've ordered it or while I'm eating it?
Yeah, it's like they can't even back out now because they've already started the degree.
That's
I can
good.
see why students are really pissed off.
That's a bit sus.
Oh, by the way, I want to clarify. According to inside sources, a lot of the faculty, like the teachers and musicians that teach there, are also against this whole price increase. But they just can't speak up because they're going to lose their jobs. We've heard a lot of stories from friends
trust us. We
that
know.
come from Juilliard because
Yeah.
we're inside the loop. Inside sources said that they were told the justification of the price increase is inflation. The students gonna struggle with the fact that their rent's gonna
Dude.
go up, freaking groceries are gonna go
Yeah,
up.
what a piss weak excuse. You should be looking after these talented people, nurture them, make them grow. Because maybe when they're doing really well, they'll reference you. Like, hey, Juilliard made it happen for us. As Juilliard did in the past. That's why we all know the name.
So this whole inflation thing, right? For a resident student went from 71
To 84,000.
What's that, like a 18% increase? What, your inflation went up 18% 1 year? So initially, when I heard this, I was like, hey, look, we should try to be, when looking at these things, try to be objective. Obviously, we relate to being a music student,
Yes.
but, you know, my initial thoughts are, hey, let's be objective, maybe it's fair. Thing is, these students, the socialist penguins, they've done their research, and they just
Oh,
found
yeah.
some pretty hard to ignore evidence for their case. There's some pretty interesting strong points. The first one being, Juilliard received an above average amount of endowment of $1.1 billion.
Damn, that's a lot of money.
I don't know what endowment industry averages are, but I looked it up and yes, there was articles saying 1.1 billion. So that number is real, right? Compared to other institutions like Curtis, where they remain tuition free, or Colburn, who had a tuition freeze in the first month of registration for 2020 to 2021.
Oh, talk about being humane. Maybe that's why Curtis musicians are better. Oh, I'm just joking. Oh.
What we've heard time and time again is Juilliard facilities aren't actually that good.
Oh, I know so many people that have been to Juilliard. They go that 4th floor, was it?
Yeah.
Practice room. It's just dirty. No one ever cleans it.
Apparently you get allergy attacks just being inside with
It's
the curtains.
small.
1.1 billion endowment, and they're trying to screw the musicians, students over. I don't know, man. Here's an interesting one. The former Juilliard president was awarded a $1 million,
$1.1 million bonus.
yeah, almost $1.1 million bonus in 2018, in addition to a salary of $500,000. Dude, what the f? That's so much money. How do I make my $1.5 million? I know.
Increase tuition fees. Let's go.
Well, like, hey, is this real, right? The thing is, Juilliard's a non-profit organization, which means they have to report on what's called the 990 tax form. I don't know, like, how much presidents are meant to be paid.
Yeah, I'm sure he's done a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
To keep Juilliard going,
Well, I hope so.
opening up in China, things like that,
Yeah.
expanding Juilliard's influence.
Understandably, the students are upset though, because with such a big endowment and with such big compensations, these students are racking up enormous student debt, right? That's a big problem in America right now.
When I was like 18, I had no way of getting $80,000 US a year while studying. Imagine the amount of pressure these students have trying to make ends meet and also trying to get their career going.
$80,000 USD, that's debt. So you gotta make a salary that first pays off your mortgage, your rent, whatever, the rest of your life, and then still have an extra $80,000 to pay off the debt. We got a bit of some stats on some music degree tuition fees around the world, right? So Singapore, Yang Sito, is 10,000 USD a year.
That's really good.
Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts, 5,000.
Wow,
a year.
even better.
The Queensland Con where we study apparently now is 25,000
Wow,
USD.
that's a lot.
Because I remember when we were there, it was around 10,000 a year.
And that was only about 8 years ago.
I don't remember them increasing it halfway too. Just increase it for the new students. Don't increase it someone that's already in. It's like, hey, let's sign a 5-year contract for a subscription service. And 2 years in, they're like, actually,
Oh, by the way, it's going up now.
start the rent for the new degree. University of Melbourne, $6,000 a year.
Even the Royal Academy of Music's 13,000 US. Curtis, free. So good.
Okay, now the Manhattan School of Music is also 51.
That's a bit high.
Which makes you wonder, why is New York so expensive?
Yeah.
Is that even worth it?
To be fair, yeah, Juilliard does have a name, but I have so many friends that have been there, great musicians, they all say it's not what you think it is. And it's such a shame for the people that did really well in Juilliard in the past.
Yeah.
I don't want to taint their names. There's so many great musicians that came up from Juilliard. Juilliard was a great place. And maybe it is, but it just seems like whatever this justification is such a poor excuse for attracting people from around the world to have their parents save for their kids to have a hope and a dream in the future. To go, oh, by the way, we're gonna take more money from you.
That last point kind of rings true for me, Resign, because when I first graduated uni, I was told to study overseas, masters, and that costs a lot of money. You know, one of the most popular destinations is the UK for Australians. For international students, it's $34,000 a year. That's a lot of money. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a trip to Europe and just plan some lessons with some of the most famous teachers there. I'm like, well, there's all this hype about these great teachers. I want to know before I commit 2 years post-grad, because that's a lot of money. The most expensive, prestigious teachers I had a lesson with was by far the worst waste of money. I learned nothing. Nothing. I paid 490 euros for a 1 hour lesson with this dude who started saying Shakespeare to me. That is not to say that's not worth it if you get a great teacher. Because
100%.
I did have 2 really good lessons, and even since then, I've had amazing lessons with great teachers that ironically don't charge that much. The great teachers seem to have a pretty fair price level, right?
Yeah.
So again, I don't mean, oh, just don't get lessons and do everything yourself. That's not what I mean. My point is, you have to learn to separate an actual great education source versus just a name.
Yes.
And we feel like, from what we've heard, again, I'm sure there's great teachers at Juilliard.
Yes.
But is Juilliard a bit perhaps overhyped right now and charging premium prices for that? Maybe.
Yeah.
Again, not dissing on the place. We just heard a lot of different stories.
I'm not the one managing 1.1 billion. I wouldn't even know how. But to me, getting $2,000 from a student with 1.1 billion endowment seems a little...
Yeah, but that same $2,000 means a lot to students.
Yeah, I remember when I was 18, $2,000 was like, whoa!
Dude, $5 was a lot
Yeah,
of
$5. I was
money.
like, whoa! I can get my own lunch from Subway! Yeah! Like, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Students are worried about saving money, you know. That $2,000 is huge for a student.
And again, look, if you want to set your prices, well, again, it's up to you to set your prices.
Yeah.
But don't underhandedly slip it in to people that have already agreed to doing a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
Because now they can't get out. I really hope that this gets settled peacefully and that
Yes.
the students can start going to the facility again.
All of this is so unnecessary.
It's unnecessary.
We just hope the students kind of get what they want. The school hears them out. Maybe actually have a conversation, and so there's a bit of understanding on both sides.
Yeah.
And I hope this problem will end so everyone can get back to practicing as you all should be.
Freeze our tuition, we shall not move. Freeze our tuition, we shall not move. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved.